good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are currently in the world. My name is Josh. This is Talking Smarks here on March 18th, 2024. And I know what some of you may be wondering, wait, there was no episode last week, Josh. What gives? Weren't you supposed to be about consistency? And yeah, you're right. I try to be consistent and try to do an episode every week right now, but last week on Monday, actually, things kind of ended up taking a little bit of a turn. My godmother had been ill for some time, battling multiple health issues. I went to go see her last Sunday. By the time that we left her home, she was in home hospice care by this time, so probably you know where this is going. We left at about 7 p.m. My time. We live about an hour away from where she was at, and we got the call at 1:30 a.m. on Monday, so not even less than a day later, not even half a day later, that she was gone. So naturally, she was a very big part of my family. She helped, she actually took my mom in when she came here to the U.S. and she was pregnant with me while my dad was searching for a place for all of us to live. So she really played a big part in all our lives. And obviously Monday, given how sudden everything was, there was just no way in hell that I was going to be able to do the show. But now I guess I can only take really solace in the fact that she's no longer suffering, she is no longer in pain, she's in a much more peaceful place. I love you, Thea. We miss you, and we'll see you down the road. But now let's go ahead and get to business here. There's been so much that has been happening in the professional wrestling industry just the last 2 weeks. And granted, I plan to be here for all of it, but life happened. So, AEW right now has been on quite an absolute tear as of late. Right after Revolution, which is now considered the closure of an era in AEW, obviously we had Sting's final match. It was also the end of some of their presentation. The set for Dynamite, as well as that original logo and that original color scheme for Dynamite, all of that went by the wayside on the very next episode. We had a new era of AEW begin. They got a brand new set, and this thing is beautiful. We're talking curb screens, LED boards all over the place, just a much bigger increase in production value compared to what they had previously. They even kind of do what WWE does now, and they have the LED boards kind of going around the ring apron, as well as the LED ringside barriers as well. It actually looks really cool, but it still kind of has this, it's not as, super pizzazz like WWE. This still feels more like, oh no, you're at a wrestling show, not, some super high-tech events. And not only that, we got some incredible ring work to go along with it. Will Ospreay obviously had his incredible debut match, officially part of the AEW roster, against Takeshita. Incredible match. Not even 3 days later, he's like, oh, I'm just going to go have another match of the year, bruv, against his friend and tag partner, Kyle Fletcher. This was, and I'm not joking when I say this was arguably one of the greatest Dynamite main events of all time. And that's saying something, because there have been some significantly big main events. This match, it went over the time limit. The TV time limit, let me correct that. But thankfully, TBS let them go overtime. It was just an absolutely incredible match. And not to be outdone, on the same episode, we had the rumored, anticipated debut of the Rainmaker himself, Kazuchika Okada, but not the way you think. This isn't the Kazuchika Okada that we got at Forbidden Door over the last couple of years. No, this is heel Kazuchika Okada. He aligns himself with Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, the EVPs of AEW. And not only that, first the Bucks come out, cut a scathing promo about how Hangman and Kenny Omega are fired from the Elite. They start talking smack. Eddie Kingston comes out, starts wailing on them. And of course, that's the reveal of the third man, which happens to be Okada, who has united with the Young Bucks. This just sets up the natural Okada-Omega rivalry for whenever Kenny is cleared to return. Get well soon, Kenny. But I am here for this. This is just an absolutely incredible. There's so many ways that they can go with this, especially with the storytellers that the Elite are. There's so many ways that this can go, and I am absolutely here for it. Got supposedly a massive contract from AEW, which makes sense. We're talking about Okada. We're talking about a generational talent, not taken away from anybody else who has that moniker, but we're talking about the man who had New Japan on his back and gave us some of the most incredible matches of all time. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen here. Obviously, the New Japan relationship is going to continue. The next week, we finally had the much anticipated Big Business episode of Dynamite taking place in the TD Garden, the home of the Boston Celtics. The debut of the CEO, Mercedes Moné. It happened. Picture a pop like when CM Punk first debuted in AEW when they did the first dance in the United Center. Picture that, but for Mercedes. You have the crowd chanting CEO, and I praise whoever had this idea to include the CEO chant in her theme song when she walks out, because that just automatically gets the crowd pumped. It gets them going. It's going to be incredible. It's going to elevate AEW's women's division to heights that are to just utterly incredible heights. Obviously, there is a stacked women's roster within AEW, and now with Mercedes, a proven main event talent. This woman headlined WrestleMania, let's not forget. A proven main event talent working with some of the younger talent in AEW. That's just a recipe for... That's money. That's big business. That's Monet. This is going to be just absolutely incredible. As for her first feud, they are not having her go after the world title just yet. It looks like we have Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm still finishing up their storyline, but looks like it's going to be Mercedes and Willow Nightingale, which makes sense. There's history there in the original match for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes was scheduled to win, however, she got injured in the match, and plans had to change at the last minute, which ended up with Willow taking home the win. So that's a natural storyline right then and there. I can't wait. We got more of it coming. Obviously, AEW is putting the marketing machine behind Mercedes. Warner Brothers Discovery also putting the marketing dollars right behind Mercedes. They wasted no time in getting ads with Mercedes out right after that debut segment. It's going to be an incredible time, and not to be outdone, WWE is still just utterly incredible storytelling with the whole Rock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody bloodline storyline going into WrestleMania. The Rock came out on Friday night, did another famous Rock concert, just utterly hilarious. He brought back the Hollywood Rock theme. Yes, that theme that we only got to hear a handful of times, because it was towards the latter end of his original WWE run. Never thought we'd hear it again, and we did. I love it. Please keep... I love this era of The Rock. Probably the most favorite run of The Rock in such a long time. And that storyline is just going to get bigger and crazier. It's just an amazing time to be a wrestling fan right now. And we will stay on top of it as best we can, both WWE and AEW. And I do thank you all so much for listening. We will be back next week. And you all have a great rest of your day.